Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of Finances and Fun. This is going to be a nice, relaxing podcast in regards to finances, real estate, mortgage talk, and just fun stuff. What do you got going on outside of work? Because no one really likes to talk about work too much. To start this first congressional podcast, I have a present that you have no idea what it is, but I want to bestow upon you the shirt that you have to wear.
All right. Let's see what we got here.
And we're going to play golf with it.
Oh, okay. Is it, you got to be kidding me. Wow. I get to wear a shirt with my own face and a fireman's hat.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Even though it's blasphemy, because you're not a firefighter.
I am not.
But it was on your Facebook. And I saw it, and I was like, oh, man, Jessica's going to love if I do this.
Oh, my goodness. She's going to laugh her butt off. Which is awesome. All right.
Nice Hawaiian shirt.
Here we go.
Can't let any of your old Force buddies see it.
It's all good.
So, introducing Bryan Lawrence with KPElite, EXP Realty. You've been in the game for a long time, but this isn't where you started.
Year. Yeah, going into my fifth year now.
So we've been doing it actually the same period of time, 2018.
Yeah,
2018. And we got introduced from a mutual friend of ours, team leader over at EXP Realty.
John Evanson.
Good old Johnny boy.
It's a good dude.
Every time that we call each other, it's Johnny. Every time.
Yeah, John's a good dude. I like him.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
So Bryan, of course, we've chatted. We've worked together for 5 years now. It happened all so fast, but I'm curious. So for those that don't know you personally or professionally,
sure,
you're currently a real estate agent, but that is where we stand now. You've had a whole life to get you into the industry. So what did you start doing? Where were you at? Obviously, you were in the force, so I kind of preluded to that. But catch me up to speed. What did you do before getting into real estate?
So at 18, I was kind of in high school, just kind of trying to figure out life and where I was going to go. And, my best friend, he was like, hey, let's go in the military together. And at first I was like, no, that's okay. Like, and then I got to kind of thinking about it. I'm like, what am I going to do after high school? Like, not going to go to college. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So, in August of 95, we went off to boot camp there in San Diego. We both joined the Marines. I spent a total of 12 years in the infantry, traveling the world, going overseas, having a lot of fun. Did 2 combat tours in Iraq, one in Fallujah in 2004, and then the Al Anbar province in 2006, 2007. At that point in my life, I had 3 kids, 13, 11, and 9. Mm-hmm. And I just spent so much time away from it and figured with the operational tempo and the way that it was just time to look at doing something else.
Yeah.
So I left the military in 2007. Joined the sheriff's office in Prescott, Arizona, where you went to high school.
Yeah,
there.
Good old Prescott.
So I know we've talked about this before. I was actually in my academy, and we would eat at your guys' cafeteria every day. So you guys would see us come in. So I spent some years up there before I came down here and continued that. So I got into real estate about 5 years ago. I'd always had an interest in real estate. My wife, Jessica, has always had an interest in real estate. Her grandfather's in real estate. And we were just kind of talking, one day, and he's like, well, I think you'd be really good at it. And I was kind of joking. I'm like, yeah, but I hate people. He's like, no.
I hate people's problems.
He's like, no, really. He's like, you don't hate people. You just hate criminals. And I'm like, well, yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So, I gave it a shot. I love it. My wife has gotten into it as well. So we are a husband and wife team. We love what we do. We get to spend a lot of time together. So she's also a full-time NICU nurse here in the Valley. So, and she's had a lot of success, and we both just really kind of enjoy it. So that's kind of where we started.
Gives you the flexibility in your daily schedule. You guys get to hang out with your kids.
Yeah. Going from a structured environment like the military and law enforcement, where, in law enforcement, you're working 12-hour shifts, you're being rotated shifts.
You see the worst of the worst.
Yeah. And overseas, being overseas 7 to 9 months, and it's an everyday process. And, there is no time off. And being able to have the flexibility in real estate to work, work the hours that you want to work. If there's a time where I want to take vacation with my family, I don't have to put in a PTO request and wait for it to get accepted, or hopefully that it gets accepted.
Or your supervisor tells you, no, you can't.
Yeah. So
your schedule
it's been very great. I've enjoyed the flexibility. I've enjoyed the last 5 years of being able to do what I want to do in my business. Mm-hmm. And the only person that I answer to is obviously my wife, because she's like, okay, well, how many deals do you have?
The only person.
Yeah. How many deals do you have going right now? Well, when's your next deal going? Okay. Well, can we afford to take vacation? So yeah, it's been awesome. I love it.
So you have the flexibility. You'd mentioned going from the Marines for 12 years, mm-hmm. and then you went into military, or you went into being a police officer. Mm-hmm. And then that was from, you said you enlisted 1990.
I enlisted in the Marines in 95.
95.
Got out in 07.
07. And then 18 is when you jumped into real estate. So there's 11 years where you in the force.
Yeah, just about. Yep, just under 12 years.
Damn.
So yeah.
Dude, so you went from the most stressful situations, chaotic, you're seeing the worst case scenario pan out. You're the first responder. You're getting called when people are literally on the verge of life or death.
Yeah.
To now you're the guy that gets to deliver the keys and create happy moments and life-changing moments of clients that in the past, there's been clients, to be very blunt with you, that they were on the fence if they could even qualify for a home purchase. But by working with professionals, by doing the due diligence that you and I at least have within our business collaboration, we're able to find that solution and present that to the client.
Absolutely.
What got you into your first year of real estate? Because everyone looks at real estate as this sexy vehicle that gives you everything you want, including the Lamborghini, and you can be an immediate influencer just by getting your real estate license.
Absolutely.
So obviously half of that is, fluff.
Yeah.
So what got you into the industry? What was the first year like? What kept you going? Because with 100% commission, with you being your own boss, you have complete time flexibility, complete time freedom, which is also your worst enemy.
Exactly. Once I decided to leave law enforcement, I would say, if you do not have a full solid years full of income saved, it's going to be very stressful for your first year, and you're probably not going to make it. So having that cushion of knowing, okay, I have X amount of dollars in the bank, budgeting that by, knowing what your monthly expenses and things are. And then, getting the education after your real estate school to become a successful agent has been vitally important.
Isn't that some shit?
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
They don't even teach you how to do the job.
Like, they teach you how to pass a test, and they teach you how to basically stay out of the ADRE and not get in trouble.
Yeah,
Arizona is what they tell you. You take your test, and then, okay, here you go. But there's really no structured information on what it takes to build yourself up in this profession to become successful. So, I made the choice to look into the teams. My first one, I loved the team. I didn't felt I was getting everything at the time. So then I moved over to KPElite. The structure that they had put in place, the education that they had available, and things like that, just really kind of helped me flourish. Yeah. So that first year was rough. I think I only did like 6 deals my first year,
which still ain't bad.
Yeah,
every other month you had a check coming in.
Yeah, So, but and then again, learning to budget where that money was going, or the money coming in compared to your monthly expenses and things like that. So as you continued to grow in that business and start the referral based business and getting people to refer you and things, it's come a long way. It's been a lot easier, especially with my wife becoming an agent. She's into her second year now, so learning that we can also be the yin and the yang to ourself is, she's meticulous in what she does, and
very detailed, very organized. Yeah. Comes with the NICU nurse side of things.
So she's super smart, super bright, and there's just some things that I excel at that she has a problem with, and vice versa. So we're able to kind of weigh on each other and say, hey, ask each other, hey, what would you do in this situation, or ask for advice and say, hey, and then we're able to collaborate and put our heads together and just build a successful business so far.
Absolutely. And she's the sphere of influence is probably the big nugget from that, is that when you go off and you branch out, you get this real estate license, and now you're supposed to know everything because now you can actually go out and do it. But in reality, you learned how to pass the test.
Yep.
And then you get thrown into the real world, which is, oh crap, I got to be able to tell the client how to write a contract. What is a variable on each contract?
Right.
What are the terms that we can actually negotiate? We can't really negotiate personal property within a mortgage transaction or a purchase transaction. So starting out, the biggest thing that newer realtors have a struggle with is tapping into and influencing their sphere of influence. So for those that aren't familiar with what a sphere of influence is, would you mind elaborating on that? And then what tips or tricks or pro tips per se do you have for your sphere of influence? Your sphere of influence is basically, your personal sphere is people all your friends, your family. You want everybody to know what you do. Yeah. And, whether they're former military buddies or they're former law enforcement buddies, or in my wife's case, members at the hospital that she works with, letting her know that, hey, she's an agent, and she's gotten several of people that she worked with, new homes, all have been, mostly first time home buyers and things like that. Yeah. But, just, and then building on that, that sphere, again, letting everybody know, whether, you are at your kid's softball game or whatever it is, like you're mingling with other parents and you're just talking, or whether it's, you're at the pool in your community and stuff, and you're just talking to people. So it has to be a continuous cycle of continuing to work and continuing to build your business, because there's ups and downs. Like, when we were in the pandemic, obviously, agents did very, very well. Yeah. And now that the pandemic is over and things have moderately slowed down in this market, there's a lot of agents that struggle. And so their business is an ebb and flow. It's an up and down. And, some months they might have a great month. They might have 2 or 3 closings, some months, and they may go 2 or 3 months and not have anything. And I've experienced that, and it's stressful. A roller coaster.
Yeah. And it's stressful. And, so just being able to build that sphere and,
keeping that open dialogue,
continuing to work it and you might run into somebody who's not ready to buy for 6 or 12 months, but continuing to nurture that relationship and, let them know that you're there for whenever they are ready, and, keep them updated. We have market updates every quarter and stuff, and we record those and we send them out to them, and they find them very, very, informative, which is great, because they can say, okay, well, rates are what they are, but housing prices are going to go up. So, what do I do? Do I buy now? And then when the rates come down, do I refinance? Meanwhile, can I afford it? So they're looking at their budgets and everything else. And I think that's where an experienced realtor, and I don't just call them realtors, a real estate professional, because typically you are a professional in this business. Your job is to educate, and that is the biggest thing that I advocate for clients that I work with. Is I'm there to educate you. I'm there to walk with you, because this is obviously the biggest financial decision that they're going to make.
Most people make in their lifetime.
Yeah. So, you're spending $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $1 million on a house. There's a lot of stress there.
Yeah.
So working with them, helping them manage stress, understand the process, and why you're there, and why you do what you do is important. So
yeah, a couple of talking points on there that resonated with me is, most importantly, leading with education, because no one wants to be sold. No one wants to talk to a salesman. We want to know the things that we don't know, and we want to trust that the information we're getting is accurate.
Absolutely.
So being credible, knowing what you're talking about, most important. Once you know what you're talking about, then you can start getting the right to ask the questions. Right. What are you looking for? Okay, what makes this more attractive than this? Then you can fine tune to see what the client's actually thinking.
Right.
And then as the role of the professional, come in, start asking some clarification questions, and then being able to present the positive solution, and then rinse and repeat. Always in the cycle of let me educate, let me learn, let me ask questions, let me present a solution, yes, no, and then rinse and repeat.
Right.
And secondly, or close to home, is telling everyone about what you're doing. Consistently, always telling people what you're doing. And the reason that I think of that and it comes to mind is because I got a phone call just probably a year and a half ago from you guys. And hey, John, I this might be a long shot, but I know you're from Prescott. Turns out Jessica's dad's friend has a duplex he's selling. You told me you bought a duplex before and you're wanting to continue the multifamily side of things.
Yep.
Long shot, but is it a good thing for you to look at? And then fast forward and it did work. The numbers penciled out. We closed on the property. Even from Phoenix, we got Jessica paid because she's the one that brought us the deal.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have happened for us, because that property, we're leveraging that to pay for its own AC unit, so that we're cash flowing nothing on this property right now. But in 7 or 8 months, it'll cash flow over $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
Reason being, there was no AC. In Phoenix, at least, we have to have AC.
Right.
Prescott's starting to get there, but at least we're in like the higher echelon of properties now that we have a mini split in every unit, and we got stainless steel and all that stuff. But that kind of reiterates the fact that not only in your real estate business, but really any entrepreneurial or just job that you're doing, you have to be in front of people, and you have to constantly tell people, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. Tell me if you find a property that matches my description, or my client is looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath in this zip code. Let me know if you find anything. And that has worked out more significantly than social media, than ads, than really anything else, because it's a one-to-one connection.
Yep.
And then if I tell you and you say, oh crap, John's looking for duplexes. Okay. Under 500 grand, less than 100 grand worth of work. It's an easy category to then say, in a month from now, when you have an opportunity, oh, that fits right in that bucket.
Yeah.
Let me call that person.
Yeah.
So I want to chime in on that to kind of reinforce, no matter what you're doing, you got to be in front of everyone all the time, building your credibility, being experts in your business, and knowing what you're talking about. You got to educate yourself.
Right.
So now that we know what got you into the industry, you're seeing success. We talked about doing 6 transactions your first year. So where are you at now, and where are you going?
Oh man, I think we're 24 for the year, somewhere around in there. We've still got some more deals in the works that we're continuing to work, but we're my goal is going into October to try and finish strong and finish at 30 for the year. That's my goal. Yeah. So it's going to be a push. July, we had a really great month. We closed 7 transactions in July. It was stressful.
A little bit of stress there.
You're managing all these transactions, and dates have to be met, and you've got 7 different clients that all are kind of needy and
unique in their own,
need reassurance that things are going well. And so after that, we took a little vacation. and was like, let's go relax for a little bit. But
Work hard, play hard.
yeah, but it was great. Like, we got through it.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters. And then, continuing to push in this market that's, completely different than it was 18 months ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Like, as an agent now, you have to work, especially as a listing agent. A lot of people didn't, 3 years ago, you'd put a house up in 3 days. It was off the market, $100,000 over list price, had 30 different offers on it. Now those listing agents, they're marketing the crap out of that house.
I would love some buyers right now.
Yeah, exactly. And they're putting feelers out there. Hey, if you know anybody, we've switched to now we're seeing everybody's asking for concessions. You would have never got that 2 years ago.
But 4 months ago, everyone was getting 10 grand seller credits.
Yeah.
And then this weird little dip happened, and then it got real competitive again.
Yep, for sure.
So I'm curious, outside of finances and fun, we've talked about finance. We talked about real estate. What we want to touch on before the end of the show is we want to talk about first-time home buyers and really a couple of key nuggets that people going into this process should really deep dive or at least have an understanding of things they could ask their professional. But before we hop into that, let's focus on the fun part of things. So finances and fun, outside of work, outside of the fun hustle and bustle of being self-employed and entrepreneur life, hashtag, what do you do for fun?
My biggest thing I do for fun is I love to travel. Obviously,
just got back from Alaska.
I did. We just took a 7-day Alaskan cruise. Was beautiful. I grew up in Anchorage, but we were on the Southeast Peninsula down there near Juneau. It's the largest rainforest in North America. It's self-sustained, so it's not like you see snakes and lizards and things like that. You're talking
tigers and lions.
You're talking
and
bears and other deer and things like that. That kind of wildlife. But obviously, you and I love to go golfing. Neither of us are really that great at it, but we love to go do it.
That's the best part about golf is you don't got to be good to go do it.
Yeah.
You just got to get through 18 holes.
it's always a good time. And so that's probably the two things that I love most about what I do is I have the ability to say, hey, Thursday I'm going to go play golf with John.
Heck yeah.
Hey wife, let's take a trip to California or whatever to go to the beach for 3 or 4 days. So I love it.
Having the flexibility of the entrepreneur, at least real estate agent lifestyle, or I'm a mortgage broker, of course. So having the flexibility in your schedule is just so nice. But then again, it's the bittersweet. It's so easy to cram your schedule. It's so easy to sleep in until, you got 2 little ones at the house. So sleeping in doesn't happen.
We have 2 5-year-old twins. Yeah. And, they're typically up at like 6 a.m. But I'm typically awake somewhere between 4:30 and 5, But yeah, so I'm an early to bed, early to rise guy. Like I'm in bed by like 9 o'clock. So, and my wife, she's a night shift worker, so she's not in bed till like midnight, 2 a.m. And so yeah, it's
got to roll with the punches.
Yeah, but
so hopping into the first time home buyer personality, looking through the lens of that first time home buyer. I mean, there's first time home buyers that have been 55, 60 years old.
Yeah.
And you would expect, okay, they're an adult. They've lived a healthy life. So at this point, they probably already know everything I'm going to tell them. And then you quickly find out, oh, crap.
Yeah.
They know nothing.
Exactly.
It's my job to now catch them up on all the misconceptions, all the Memorial Day conversations about how to buy a house and how to boost the credit and what income you need. And you'll never be able to buy a house because you have to put 20% down.
Right.
Whole lot of myths, whole lot of misconceptions. Everything online is going to be skewed towards marketing and getting the client to apply for their pre-approval and all that stuff. So what's the first nugget that you would say, first-time home buyers, most importantly, you got to know this? What's number one?
That's a good question, honestly, because there's just so much that they need to know. Is they need to be working with an agent that knows this market very well, inside and out. I am an East Side Valley agent. Like I would typically not try to take on a client to the West Valley because I don't know that area that well. So the areas that I want to specialize in are those areas that I have that knowledge in, so I can give them that knowledge. So as I walk through them in this home buying process, that they can trust what I'm telling them is in their best interest or is the truth for them.
Yeah.
So that, and then, talking with the professional lender to see where they're at in the start of the process so that we can make sure that we are on the right track. Because what I don't want is, you really don't want to set them up for failure at the beginning.
Number one
is, hey, we're out looking at $600,000 homes, but then we find out, hey, you're only qualified for $350,000. Like, that's a huge blow to them. So, hey, let's do this. Let's get you talking to a professional in the lending market, see where you're at, and then we can kind of go from there, and so that we can jump off from the very beginning and have success.
Absolutely. So I can't go on camera and then plug myself and then talk about myself, because that's just a douchebag move. So you've worked with plenty of lenders. We've been in the industry for 5 years now. So what's one example that was a necessity, and how did that pan out with the client?
Well, I had a client who relocated here from California. Ultimately, he was using a lender, was a bank, I believe it was Chase, and turns out like things just weren't going well. We couldn't have correspondence with them because they were only in the office from Monday to Friday, but they were in Ohio, so we could only get them from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. their time, so which really put a damper on our home buying process here. So I mean, everything fell through. That's when I reached out to one of my lending partners, John Bradley, and I was like, hey, I need your help. I need you to save this deal for me, which I know I've done on at least 5 occasions. And every single one of them, you've been able to manage and move them through the process and got them from start to finish. So I appreciate you. I know my wife appreciates you. I'm sure anybody that works with you appreciates you. And like I tell everybody else, I just can't promote him enough, and his knowledge of lending and everything else. You just have to talk to him. Like, yeah. I'm like, he's super smart. He knows the insides and outs of lending. Not only does he know the insides and outs of lending, he knows the insides and outs of real estate and investments. So he's just a great resource to have. Uh-huh. Whether you decide you want to use him or not, that's perfectly okay. I'm just here to give you the information and
to pass a referral.
Yeah.
So. And to hopefully set the client up for the best experience.
Absolutely.
And I think on that topic, it boils down for me on my side of the business. I'm not showing homes. I'm not opening the door for them. I'm not crying with them because this house could be little Susie's first room and oh my God, like that's just not me. But communication has to be number one on my list, just because communication is how you know green light or red light. Are you moving forward or is this dead right now?
Right.
And that communication, speed is the name of the game. If you're in front of the client every step along the way saying, hey, here's what to expect. Here's the fork down the road. Here's your options. What do you want to do?
Right.
That's how the communication should work.
Yeah.
So what would you say number 2 would be that first-time home buyers really got to learn this?
I would say that it's going to be stressful from start to finish.
Unless you work with professionals. But
I am here to help you manage your stress. And as we move along, I do not disclose the entire picture to you at one time. Mm-hmm. I will only tell you what our next step is and what to expect in our next step, so that you're not overloaded with a bunch of information. We can maintain that stress level, keep it down, and keep you calm. If something comes up, we'll talk about it. I'll make my recommendations to you. But just understand that I am here for your best interest, and we're going to get through this. Now, understand, there's going to be bumps in the road, but I am here to help you. So, and then, most of them appreciate that. They don't want to know everything at one time because it is just so much information.
It's an overload.
Exactly.
And I always tell my clients, no one ever wakes up in the morning excited to talk about a mortgage. I totally get that. And no one's ever said that buying a house was the easiest thing they've ever done.
Right.
So there will be stress, like you had said, but the only reason stress pops up is because there's some unknowns.
Yep.
If anxiety, nervousness creeps in, that's because you have some questions that haven't been answered.
Right.
We want to alleviate that, answer the questions, disclose what the next steps look like, and really just foreshadow what the process looks like so that you don't have to worry. We're in the driver's seat, but really We're just there to make sure that they know where they're going.
Yep.
So on the third and last topic, what do you think first-time home buyers should lastly walk away with from this podcast, saying, okay, I have some action items?
Reach out to a professional that knows the market that you need, that you're looking in. And don't just talk to one. Talk to several.
Yeah.
And then at the end, choose the best agent that you feel is going to represent you in your best interest. Because it's not about me making a commission or anything else. It's about me helping somebody from start to finish and achieve the goal that they want to own a home, or they need to sell a home, or whatever it is. So ultimately, that's it. So.
Work with professionals. If you got professionals in your corner, your life is way easier.
Yeah.
They can answer the questions. They can tell you what to expect. They can guide you through the process. If you want to see the bird's eye view of 30,000 feet and know exactly the steps along the way, professional can still do that, but the professional also knows it's going to be overwhelming. You're going to lose sleep at night thinking about all the different options.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, if we do that, chances are there's a high probability we've overloaded them with too much information, and then they're going to take a step back.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that. You got to work with professionals in your corner that know what they're doing. And after you talk to 3 or 4, you very much so know, okay, I like this person. I vibe with this person. This person has my best interest.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that was the first episode of Finances and Fun with Bryan Lawrence, the one, the only, KPElite, EXP Realty. We will catch you again. We'll have episodes being launched every month, and you'll be seeing some consistent content going forward. So thanks for plugging in. We're looking forward to the ride.
Thanks, Tyson.
Thank you for listening to the Finances and Fun podcast. Please like and subscribe to get new episodes as they're released. We love engaging with our audience, so please leave us a comment below with any feedback or questions you have. Write to the show by sending an email to talktoaproadvisor@gmail.com. You can find the video version of the show on YouTube at the Finances and Fun YouTube channel. Check out clips of the show on our Instagram and YouTube. Just search Finances and Fun. This has been a T-Door production.